Just a little bit more for you on that Societe Generale trading story we mentioned a moment ago. AFP reporting that SocGen's shares were temporarily suspended on the Paris CAC 40 market. Just briefly though, before, as we said earlier, the share price rebounding, rising some 8.9% to just over 24 euros per share. Well, let's stay with this for the moment, get a little bit more on this. We're joined on the line by Lisa Pollack. She's a vice president at Markit in London and a credit default swap specialist. Lisa, good morning to you. We spoke to you just a couple of days ago when credit default swaps on French credit default swaps for France, I should say, were widening to unprecedented levels. And of course, in the last 24 hours, we've seen them widening even more.
That's right. So the levels that we're seeing now on the French sovereign are not levels that we saw in May 2010, which was around the first bailout. And indeed, around the last month, we've seen them deteriorate by such an extent that the basis point spread has actually doubled. Now, obviously, there's concern, as you said in your earlier reports, about the extended size of the bailout, and also now concern around French banks. Like you mentioned, Societe Generale there, and we have actually seen the CDS spreads on all of the major French banks widen very, very significantly. Now, something that's also very interesting, according to data that came out last week, that referenced last week, that came out yesterday, the France sovereign CDS was actually the most actively traded single name. So when we're seeing these elevated levels, it's not that transactions aren't being done, and we'll have to wait to next week to see how much activity was done on these widened levels.
And Lisa, it's Priya with Owen in the studio. Is the problem simply that France is overstretched on helping the likes of Greece and Italy, and the conventional wisdom saying, well, Germany can afford to do this, but France simply can't?
Well, we do certainly see a heightened level of concern reflected in the CDS spreads, but it should be said that this is also following a general move wider. So it's not simply France, it's not simply French banks, but it has been banks across the board, what we've seen yesterday, and also sovereigns across the board. Germany as well experienced a deterioration in their own CDS.